So, good morning, everyone. I hope that you can hear me. If there's any problem with the sounds, please write in the comment. So, welcome to this Lemontree Morning event, and today we are going to talk about efficient app testing on Android and iOS with AI support. First, I just wanted to give you some short information about Lemontree if you're not familiar with our history since before. We established in 1999 and have been working with testing and automation for over 20 years now. We have customers both in Sweden and in Norway, mostly in the telecom, public, energy, and industry. We have a few partners that we are working with, their tools and their products, and we also have our consultancy and project deliveries with our 40 consultants that we are today. The agenda for today is that you just got a very short introduction from me, Isabella, and I'm about to head over to Jörgen Svensson, our extraordinary smartphone and mobile app senior tester here at Lemontree. I am going to let him do an introduction of himself and also talk more about today's subject. If you have any questions, please just write in the comment and we will take a Q&A at the end. So I'm about to head over to you now, Jörgen.
Okay, thank you. So efficient app testing on Android and iOS with AI support. First, a little bit about myself. My name is Jörgen Svensson. I've been working about 13 years with smartphones and mobile applications from iPhone 1 and onward, really. My current assignment at Lemontree is that I'm responsible for maintaining an installation of UFT Mobile at one of Scandinavia's largest retail store chains. And in that installation, we have around 60 plus, I think currently 65 mobile devices and about 170 active users. So this presentation will be divided into two parts. First, I will talk about how to set up remote testing for mobile devices using UFT Mobile, how you set it up, how you use it. And then the second part will be how to run automated tests with AI functionality against the UFT Mobile installation we are running here at Lemontree. So not the customer's installation, our own. A short recap of UFT Mobile. UFT Mobile is a product developed by Micro Focus, has been around for many years. It used to be called the Mobile Center, HP Mobile Center. And with UFT Mobile, you're able to set up tests against mobile devices. These can be, as you see on the screen, these can be local devices, just plugged into a computer with a USB cable. What this demo will be about is the lower part, Mobile Center Connector software, where you have a commercial installation of UFT Mobile. We run a large number of mobile devices for testing. You can also use UFT Mobile against cloud-based device farm solutions, of course. For example, Amazon device farm. A quick comparison, because there are a lot of options out there for cloud-based device farms. Source Labs, Amazon device farm, Browser Stack. These are like the three big ones. There are many others. In these solutions, the mobile devices are physically hosted and managed by these companies. What you do as a user is that you grant access to the mobile devices. These can be real, these can be simulated. And if you have tested, done extensive testing against real and simulated mobile devices, you will know there is a very large difference between a simulated device and a real thing. So but that's another discussion. The pros of this, of course, is that you are paying someone else to handle the whole mobile device infrastructure. This is a task which can be time consuming. The con is that if you have any special request, a cloud device farm can usually not help you. Some examples. When a local device farm installation is preferred, for example, if your mobile devices will need to be connected to a special wireless network to reach an expected company backend, it's very hard to set up in a cloud device farm. If you need to test so-called rugged devices, these are cheaper Android phones that are used for in warehouses and by truckers and stuff like that. Basically used in logistics. If you go to like your local Coop store, Ica store, they will have this using these in the background, the warehouse itself. Or if you want to run all devices with a dedicated language setup, this can be solved in cloud-based device farm by you paying for a private device farm, which is it's kind of a new concept actually, where you can rent certain devices all the time. This is quite expensive. And also, of course, you are completely dependent on what the device farm has to offer. These will be common mobile device models with a high market penetration. It's quite difficult to get them to set up something special, like for example a rugged device. So the advantages excuse me, of a local device farm with UFT Mobile. You are in full control of your own devices, your own networks. You are not dependent on what the device farm has an offer. You can just buy the device and plug it into your own installation. And of course, internal company backends can be set up for devices without any real security risk. You can also set up your debug versions of your applications without any risk. Availability and scalability. If you are a large organization, for let's say a big company or a government agency, for example, you can, even though you are sitting in many different geographical locations, you can make a lot of mobile devices available for everyone in the organization. This will save money and it will increase the number of available mobile device combinations for the testers in the organization. So you have access to, let's say, 100 mobile devices, different OS versions, different manufacturers, instead of just the devices used within your own team. This is, I will also say, this is a good complement. This will not replace having a small number of devices for a app developer team, but it's useful. You can perform your testing remote through our the web browser interface. I will demo this later in a couple of minutes. Or you can run tests through test clients like Appium, UFT One, LoadRunner, for example. I will demo UFT One later. So the tester can connect to many mobile devices that are hosted somewhere else, from home or really for any place with an internet connection and a connection, of course, to your company network, usually through a VPN client. And something new that is quite apparent these last months at my current employer is that a large number of mobile devices are available, but they are only physically handled by one or very few people. So I, for example, handle about 50 devices. I have a colleague in place that handles 15 others. And we are only the two persons that actually physically access the devices, but they are available for hundreds of users. So what do you need to run UFT Mobile against a mobile device if you want to test this? This is bare bone functionality. Well, you need a Windows computer with UFT Mobile server installed. There is a free 30-day trial available. You need the UFT connector service running. The connector service is what handles the connection with the physical mobile device. This is included with the UFT Mobile server. You need iTunes set up if you want to connect to iOS devices. You need Android debug bridge if you want to connect to Android devices. Android debug bridge is included in all Windows installations. You will need a USB cable to connect the mobile device and the laptop, and you will need a mobile device that has developer mode and UI automation activated. More on that later. This is what a licensed installation of UFT Mobile usually looks like. There are variations. You need a computer with the UFT Mobile server installed, a licensed version. This can be hosted locally, or it can be hosted in the cloud, which is the most common solution, Windows or Linux. You will need a local connector machine. This cannot be in the cloud. The connector machine will have a USB hub and connected to it, and the USB hub will have the mobile devices connected to it physically, so not in the cloud. But these connectors, you can run many connectors for each installation. They don't need to be in the same location. They can be in different countries even, as long as they have a connection through the company network to the UFT Mobile server. So it's quite flexible. There is also an alternative where you can have a combination of local mobile devices and connectors, and you can also have set up UFT Mobile to run against an installation of, for example, Amazon Device Farm. You can have this as a complement. Physically, the connector needs to connect it to a multi-port USB hub. That hub should support the latest USB standards, because if you buy, for example, the latest Samsung S20 models, I think they run USB version 3.2 plus or 3.3 even, which supports 10 gigabytes of traffic through a USB cable. And if you look at USB 2.0, that's like 0.5 or even less. So it matters which hardware you use to connect your devices to. Of course, you can have several USB hubs connected to the same connector. I think the hard count for how many devices you can have for one connector is 50 devices. So it's flexible. How you set up an Android device for remote testing? Well, this is really easy. All you have to do is you activate the developer mode, and you need to activate some UI settings. So that's like 3 minutes work. And then you plug in the device with a USB cable to the connector machine, either directly or through a USB hub. And you click on some dialog that pops up in the mobile device. Do you accept the connection? Yes, I do. And you also have to, for example, you need to sometimes in the connector machine, you also need to accept the connection. Once you do that, you can use the UFT Mobile web interface and push out the agent application. Now, the UFT, what you see here in the screenshot, the UFTM agent is an app. This is the app that handles the communication with the connector machine, the connector software as well. This is what allows the device to be visible in the web interface and other places. So when you see this on screen, you are good to go to run your tests. For iOS device, this comes as no surprise for the iOS developers. Setting up an iOS device for remote testing is not hard, but it's cumbersome. You need the following. You need a Mac OS machine that can run the latest version of Xcode. I mean, you need to do that to set an iOS device in developer mode anyway. So, I mean, you need an activated Apple developer account where your iPhones or your iPads have been added to the distribution profile for that account. Then you need to sign the iOS agent applications. You have a Mac OS application that you can run on your Mac machine, and there you can sign it with your own certificate. And then it's the same thing there. You log into the UFT Mobile web interface and push out the agent applications. When you see the UFT Mobile agent application, this is the lower screenshot there. I will show it IRL later. Then you can connect to the device with the connector. If you have any questions about what this stuff is, just talk to your local iOS developer team and they can tell you, because they have all these things already. And if you want to do like a trial setup, they can help you with your own account. It's not a problem. So, quick demo of the UFT Mobile web browser interface. What you see here on the right is our own installation currently running at Lemontree. We set this up quite recently. We mean to use this for example testing patches and also for demos. You can see the Mac Mini that we use. You don't need a developer Mac for any of this. You can use a Mac Mini that is good enough to run Xcode. And you can also use that Mac as a connector, which if you want a large number of iOS devices connected, might be a good idea. And we also have 2 other connectors. You can also see the USB hub, a cheaper version, which we are running here at Lemontree. This, as we're going to show you, this is the web interface for UFT Mobile. I will quickly log in here with my Lemontree account. And I can show you the device lab that we have set up here. These are the current devices that are plugged in to the current installation. And I can show you the connectors. These are 3 physical connectors. We have the server laptop that we're running, the UFT Mobile server. You can also use that as a connector, as I said before. We have a HP computer that we use as a window connector, and we have a Mac Mini which we use as our Mac connector. And these are devices. I can log in to our Pixel device and show you. This is what the user will see when they test remotely. This is mainly for manual testing, of course. The difference here is that instead of using this is not a touch screen. This is a recording of the mobile device screen, and you use your mouse pointer to do the commands. For example, I can go to Google Play and like look for, if I want to update my applications. So it's basically it's all click commands. You can do almost anything using a mouse pointer on a touch screen like this remotely that you can do with a touch screen. And where you can't, where you don't want to, for example, you have functionality like if you want to switch the screen orientation, if you want to take screenshots directly, if you want to download the device logs, of course, depending on how the device is set up. Application interactions, I can show you that quickly. If you want to use, if you want to install applications directly in the interface, you can do this as well. It's usually recommended. If you want to run automated tests, you want to add your applications here, like debug versions, production versions, all of those. With the current client I'm working at, you have something like 50 different applications available all the time, and they are uploaded directly through their build agents. So as a tester, when you log in, you always have the Nitro build available, basically. You can have for example, you want to send text to the device, you can do that as well. So this is what the application looks like. As you can see here, if you look at the notification screen, these are the agents running. And of course, USB debugging is on. That is what allows the device to connect. I will end the session here. I can also quickly show you an iOS device, how that looks. So this is size. You usually want to use, since this is a mouse pointer only, you can use assistive touch. That's quite useful to simulate gestures. And I can also show you the agent app running. This is the agent application that you need to sign with your developer certificate, and as you can see, it is on and it is connected to the connector URL here. So yeah, so this is how you do manual testing. What this allows, of course, is that you can have a testing team based in India. They can do their regression test remote against a device that is localized in Sweden and that is hooked up to the organization's internal wireless networks. So you can bypass a lot of the GDPR things. And you don't need to physically send devices to a team at in another continent just to do your test. It make their life quite easy. So I can also show you the workspace. You can set up different users when you log in with your account. You can set up that different users see different devices. For example, if you want to have a dedicated workspace for automated test devices, you can make sure that only some users can access this. This is also quite useful because sometimes different teams have completely different needs for devices. And you do not want, for example, if you have rugged devices that we talked about earlier, you do not want people without access to be able to interact with them, because they may not have like legal access in the organization. You can also, of course, reserve reservations. You can do if you know that you are gonna perform a test at a specific date or time. As a user, you can reserve a device for your needs, and you know when you log in that morning that you have it available. We can also talk about some settings here that are useful. For example, you can set up packaging services so that all the applications that you make available in the UFT Mobile installation, they will be packaged automatically. This is usually recommended both for Android and iOS. You can use proxy settings. You can use, if you want your users in the organization to log in with your, for example, AD accounts, you can set up LDAP integrations. We are currently doing that for our client. You have device health indicators. For example, one problem with hosting mobile devices that are always plugged in, always loading, and always available. One problem is that they become sensible if they don't have proper cooling. So you can't just put them in a drawer. They need to be properly cooled. And if your battery reaches a certain temperature, the battery health will degrade, and eventually it might even break. So you have a REST API available in UFT Mobile where you can send API request and issue an alarm to the people concerned if you see that, okay, this device or many devices, they have a critical temperature level, and then you can do something about it. You can also set up for disk space and if the Wi-Fi is down and stuff like that. Different user accounts. You can have shared space admins if you want, for example, for a different part of your organization to have access. Only them. You can set up devices for just their particular cases. Workspace admins have common users. When you set up a connector, you generate an access key from the UFT server. And you use that to connect the server to the connector. You can see we have done this quite a lot of times. Yeah. So this was the web view interface. I will now talk about AI and do a quick demo. So yeah, but it crashes. How do I get rid of this one? Yeah, so anyway, advantages of AI testing with UFT One. More intuitive test scripts. Tests are technology, in theory at least, but mostly in practice as well. They are technology agnostic. You use visual identification to identify objects. So you're not dependent on the UI technology details used behind the scenes. Tests are easier to maintain, as an object change location, a UI framework or shape will not break the test script as long as the object remains visually similar or its purpose remains clear. This includes like if you have in a screen, if you have like two buttons that have the same appearance and they both say OK. The AI will be able to recognize this unless you switch place, of course. But the automated AI test can be started on before the code is written and objects are in place. It can also be placed based on a UI mockup. Testers without the coding background will have an easier time getting started with automation. And the UFT has an internal AI motor software that will recognize where the objects should be placed. So it's not just image recognition, it's also location based and text based. So it's quite smart when it comes to that. I will show you this in the demo. Quick about UFT One. I will not go into detail about the UFT One client, but it's a test client that you can use against UFT Mobile. You can run UI and API test. It supports testing against multiple platforms like web and mobile Windows applications, mobile applications, mobile devices, which is what we will look at. Terminal emulator like PuTTY, SCP, Oracle, Java, and so on. And you don't have, if you have a UFT Mobile installation, you don't have to use UFT One client to test against it. You can also use Load Runner, Storm Runner, Appium, for example. So I will open UFT One here. As you can see here, there are a lot of add-ins you can load. The important ones here for us is mobile and UI automation. These are the two big ones for us right now. So I'm starting UFT One. I can quickly show you how you connect or you set up the connection from the test client here, UFT One, to the UFT Mobile installations. If we go to options, we want to run a UI test. Here you see mobile. This is our local server address here at the Lemontree. This is the same user that I logged into the web interface with. Connect to UFT Mobile and you can test the connection. Okay, success. They can talk to each other. I will be able to connect to the devices. And also, of course, for AI testing, you need to have AI active, as we have here. So, a quick demo. I will start a test case and then I will connect to a device. So, new test. We are doing a UI test. I will quickly shut down all windows because I will do the AI recorder setting here. First, I will connect to device, open application on mobile device. So this is what we'll do. I can show you here. This device is one of the devices that we have available in our installation of UFT Mobile. It knows it's going to test the Android application, so it only shows the Android devices available. But this is the installation I showed in the web interface earlier. So I will run, I guess, an older Samsung device here, just to show that it's possible. And then this application, Advantage Shopping, is a demo application that is provided by Micro Focus whenever you install UFT Mobile. If you want to test the functionality and you don't have an app available, you can use this application both on iOS and Android to do your test. So it's quite useful. So this is we have an open connection to the device, and the Advantage Shopping app is open because we told them to open it. So what we'll do now is we will use the recording function here. AI record. So you click on a web page mobile device. Now you select the screen where you want to identify the objects. You want the AI to identify the objects. This is what it's doing now. It's trying to check what objects are available and what type of objects they are. Is it a button or a text screen or stuff like that? And what actions you can perform. So they are not. The AI is not. It's not seeing the object name or anything like that. It's identifying it. So now I will quickly, because I want to show you the UFT Mobile client as well. So I will quickly pause the recording. You can do this at any time. I will open this and I will show it as two screens. Here we go. As you can see, set context device. This is the connection being established to the device. Okay, so I will start the recording again. I will do a very easy, very simple text test case here that I will record, doing some changes, and then I will save it, and then I will run it against the same device. So this is very basic. Okay, I will log in. As you can see here, the AI has identified this as a hamburger menu. It literally says that it's a hamburger menu. What do you do with that? Well, you can click on it. Let's do that. Click. You can see the screen changes to the next level, and the AI is identifying the objects here now. And the row 2 here to the left, you can see that the hamburger menu click command has been added to the test case. Now we do the same for the login button. It's a login button. You can click on that. It's a new screen. It's actually connected to a Facebook account, and it will try to identify the. So you can see it switches from the application itself to a Facebook login account. What we want to do here is we want to add the username and the password. So instead of click, we select type for username. My colleague Sami is the username, and the password is the next step. The AI is identifying the next step. Okay, so password here, we will type the password. Password 1. Let's do it again. Yeah. Password 1 and send it. Okay. I mean, showing a password in like this in the clear text, that's not very good. So what we're going to do is we pause the recording again. You can do that anytime. And you use a function called, let's see. Here we go. Password encoder, also included in UFT. Let's type the password and then we do generate. And we copy this. So we're going to replace, in real time, we're going to edit this. Let's see. So instead of type, we're going to use control space here to list the different commands here where you can use for input. And what we're after is type secure. So we're going to choose type secure and we're going to add the generated obfuscated password here instead. Yeah, that looks better. So now we can start the recording again, resume. The AI will once again identify the objects. Here we go. Now we want to log in. We select login and click. It's added to the test case. Okay, so we might want to verify in the test case. We want to verify that we actually are logged in. So one good way to do this, we check the hamburger menu again. Click, and you can see, oh, look, Sammy Jansson, sign out. That probably means that we are signed in. So we're going to add a verification step. That's the last step here. Instead of click here, we're going to add a checkpoint for text. Verify existence. Exist, yeah, we want the sign out text to exist. That means the test case worked. So this is our very simple test case. I will stop the recording now. And I mean, if this is like a proper test, I will add stuff like killing the last step would be killing the connection with the device, and also like uninstalling and installing the app, or rather you end it with uninstalling. So we're gonna sign out here so we can run the test case because we have limited timer. Okay, so I'm gonna kill the reservation here because I don't have those tests set up where you can do it automatically. So delete reservation. Yeah, and UFT Mobile will tell you, okay, your session is dead. We don't know why. Because I killed it. We'll exit this and I will verify in the interface that the connection is not open. It is not. The device is clear. So what we do now is that we will run this test case. Yeah. And it should, since we have those settings on, it will open a visible connection to the device as well and show the test case. And of course, with all this, you can set this up so you take a screenshot of every step of the way. So you can see the AI is performing the function. And as the last step, we will verify if sign out is visible. Loading report. Successful. All the 7 steps in this very simple test case was successful. So this was the AI recording function running against an actual mobile device connected through the UFT Mobile software and hardware. So a quick test. We also since we have limited time. This was a very simple test case. We could talk about this for hours. But I also want to show you a quick movie where we have a more complicated test case. This is, by the way, is sped up with about 4 times the speed where there is actually run notes. You can see at row 13 and 15 we've added some code to handle this use case. When this test case is being run, the AI will be analyzing the application to detect the object you want to interact with. But in the background, it is also synchronizing to make sure the step has passed successfully. So the AI is clicking through the different menus in the application, identifying text blocks and others. You will see for the last step of this test case, you can notice that the AI has been instructed to not care about the price that is displayed in the checkout button, but it will still identify the object, the button object, and interact with it. You can see the price did not match what was being shown. Yeah, so this is what AI test case can, usually looks like, rather than what I demoed. So I can just add that if you would be interested in having in real life demo of the AI functionality, the UFT One mobile installation or the UFT One client, just let us know, because we are working with this right now.
Yeah, if you have any questions, you can always feel free to contact us at Lemontree. Yeah. Thank you so much for the presentation, Jörgen.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone.